Okay, y'all ready for this? This will be the last video from Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, unless I hear from somebody in the comments that they need something else shown. And then I may or may not go back to it. But hey, doesn't hurt to ask. So, and I did read, if you remember, I was saying that sometimes we really need to read the story because sometimes it will tell us about items that we're coloring in the book. So I read the page that's facing this one, and nowhere does it say anything about the smoke or bubbles or fog or whatever that is. Don't know. It looks like she's breathing it, but there's no pipe. There's a sink or dishes, so I tend to think maybe bubbles. But then, so pick a color, any color. I picked a color and it just happens to be the colors I used down there. But then when I went to the front of the book to see what ideas they have, yeah. So I guess it's okay. I don't know. Still no idea of what that is. So without further ado, here we go. All right, that's probably, you know what? I'm going to blow it up and I'm going to work in this section right there. I pulled only 3 colors. Now, as you know, there are no such thing as coloring police. Anybody tells you are, they're wrong. There's not. So, the colors I pulled are still with Crayola. You know, that's what we've been using for a while. And I pulled Red Violet, and then Orchid, and Royal Purple. No, it's not down in the description, so if you need to, just pause, skip back a little bit, play it again. Red Violet, Orchid, and Royal Purple. And again, you don't have to use these colors. What I started out with was my Red Violet, and I came along through here on the left-hand side because it's your left, my right. So anyway, because that's where the fullness is. This is tucked behind. So then I did the medium shade, which was Orchid, and I did this middle area and went into the prior color. Now on this one right here, nothing is really behind. So when I go to my third color, which is Royal Purple, I really don't have to do anything on that bubble. I will come, and I did here, now, does anybody know why I'm going around? Because these are on top of this. So in order to pop it up, I need to go around that. And I'm not going to do it on every picture or every little area right now. But when I am completely finished with the whole thing, I will probably come back with my lightest shade, which is Red Violet, and color the entire thing with little circles. Now, what this does is this is going to blend the colors together a bit more, and it's going to finish getting all of the white tooth out of the paper. Now, if I wanted to, darkest shade, Royal Purple, I could also do right under here. And that makes this circle in front of this one. because now that is shaded. Okay, this goes back to what we've been doing the entire book. If you want something to look like it's behind something else, add darker shade to it. If you want it in front, go with the lighter shades. All right, so I'm going to have the red violet out, and I'm going to go through here and just do some lighter areas. Now, I need to stand up and see how far over I can go. I can go to here before I lose you. So let me take this book that is standing by. That's going to be the next book to work in. Yeah, the Art of Positivity by Jane Madej. And I have been chatting with her in another group, and there's a chance she's going to have another book coming out, hopefully next year, about just some stuff that she does in her leisure with journaling, but the pictures are just so cute. A bunch of us have requested that she make it into a book. So we'll see. Now, do you see how this one is totally on top? I could do it totally in one color. That would be just fine. But because I like there to be two different colors on most things I do, I'm going to come in with color number 2, which is Orchid. And I'm going to do that middle section in Orchid. And I'm just blending it out a little bit. It's not a lot, but it's just enough that it gives some depth to that circle. Okay, then I'll come back in with my original red violet. I'm trying to say the colors a lot this time because I am going to be changing back and forth between colors, and I know it would be easy to get mixed up. Okay, now, because that goes back behind, I'm going to reach for my darkest shade, Royal Purple, and just go ahead and put that in there. See, I'm just going ahead and getting that right back in there. Okay, now going back to my first shade, Red Violet, and I'm just going to start doing some of these circles. And there's a point where like all this blends together where you're like, what? And seriously, you're just going to have to wing it. And I know that's not what you necessarily want to hear, but like what I'll do is I'll go ahead and make that a circle. That was not a circle. I'm going to make it into one. Not real good, but I'm going to. All right. And then it's on top here, so I can do that. And then all of a sudden here, this one's on top. So let's do this, leave a hole in the middle. The hole in the middle is for that next shade. So all these that are right side by side, just going to get those done, leave a little hole in the middle. Lighter and lighter pressure as I go in. Okay, like this one, it just kind of connects to this. So I'm going to just go ahead and make it round. Remember, sometimes it looks worse before it looks better. No judgment. So I think I told y'all last time that my daughter was here because her back had just like gone out. Well, it ended up being shoulder, back, side, hip. She had to sleep on the couch for 2 or 3 days, and then she finally went to a bed night before last and last night. And I took her home today, and she went up the stairs without very much problem. When it first started, yeah, I appreciated that, Fern. Even the log roll didn't help because she could not roll over. And she is not one to go to a chiropractor or anything. Plus, all they really would have done was rubbed and kneaded it, which is what we did. And then they would have told her to ice for so many days, which is what she did, and to alternate her pain relievers over the counter, which is what we did. Okay, I'm changing to Orchid. But anyway, so she is better. So you that prayed for her, thank you very much. She is back in her apartment up on the second floor. And she said she was feeling pretty good. She's been able to work from home. And the office is closed on Friday. So she's just finishing up her work today after I took her back. And then hopefully next week she'll be able to go in. I don't see why she wouldn't be able to if she's just gentle and careful over the weekend. She was like at 75 to 80% today when I took her home. So, but we really babied. I would stand there and be like, okay, I'm not going to pull you up, but I'm a hand if you need it type thing. And made sure that she was able to get a good shower in and all that stuff. But anyway, she'd be like, Mom, why are you talking about me? But yeah, I love her to death. She's like one of my best friends. So I was just glad that we were able to actually do anything at all to help her. She's one of those people that people just love. She's just that giving, kind, and sweet of a person. But anyway, granddaughter, no, I've not seen her since we talked last. We have a little toy that you push the button and he plays a guitar. Okay, I am going to go back to my lightest shade, Red Violet. So anyway, it's a little toy that you push the button and he plays the guitar. And it's Ernie from Sesame Street. So Evie likes to push the button and then she'll take her hands and play an air guitar. She does, I'm serious. She's not even 2. She'll play an air guitar and we just all laugh. And so she was doing a little game on the tablet at home. And it was, they say the word and you pick out the instrument or whatever it is they're talking about. So they said the word guitar. And her dad said she said guitar and then acted like she was playing one. He said it was so funny. So anyway, that's her newest thing, is playing an air guitar. Okay, so all I'm doing here is I'm looking to see what has a full circle and is on top. Now, this comes around. So then you're like, well, is this on top? Because it's rounded. Is this on top? This whole thing is on top of this. So I'm going to go ahead and do this in the lighter shade. And then we'll come with the darker shade underneath. And that will pop this up to the top. Okay, let's see. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes it will get to be a jumble. And that's why I'm doing this, so that you can see the jumble before you go to all the rest of it. All right. Here's a curve. This one. This is all tucked under these, but it's on top of this. So take your time with this. Like I said, no judgment. If you decide you just need to do this in one solid color, that's fine. Just know that you're not going to get the dimension that you would otherwise get. Okay? Yeah, I need to make a page that says there are no coloring police. I'm always saying that. So this is my lightest. Actually, I could connect that to this. Just make that connect together. And then this little piece here is actually on top of this one. I would have skipped this, except I knew somebody would probably ask for it. I'm going to Orchid, and I'm going to do centers. And then in these bigger ones, I was going to leave the very center for the darkest color, but I really feel like I need to save that darkest color for under edges. You know what I'm saying? So I think I'm just going to do the Orchid here and save the darkest shade for underneath. Now, because this is going to get so, maybe it won't be confusing. Don't set us up to fail. We can do this. Because this is underneath, I'm not going to use that first color at all. I'm just going to come in here with the Orchid and do the center. Okay, does that make sense? I'm still coming over here with Orchid. And then I'm going to come in with my darker, my red purple. I know I've got more up here to do. I just want to go ahead and, or royal purple rather. I want to go ahead and get some of this done. So I'm going around that circle and then blending out. See how it just popped that circle up a little bit? It's not going to be overly a lot because flat is flat, but we can pop it a little bit. And see, because I'm using the darkest here, it makes this look like it's on top. Okay, and what I was talking about over here, see, I'm going around the bubbles again. And I'm just going to go over that whole thing. There's a little bit of light in the middle, so it will stay a little bit light there, but I'm not worried about it being terribly light. I have not gotten the books from Ruth yet, for you that have been waiting for the review. There's 4 coloring books, and there's fairies, there's nursery rhymes. I'm not real sure what all there is. She told me, I just don't remember. Okay, now this is underneath, so I'm going to go ahead and do it with this color. So she sent them media mail, so they are going to take a little bit of time to get here. But when those come in, no matter where we're at in coloring, I will take a break and go ahead and get those review videos done. That way I can send her a link and y'all can see what books they are and decide if it's something that you might want for Christmas. Okay, so see how we're getting some depth in there? And this page is just going to take some time. So I'm going to come on back over to my Orchid and work on this a little bit. See, orchid would be next. And then it is tucked underneath. So after the orchid, I would go back to that third shade that I've got going on. Well, my spinach in the garden, we put some on our tacos last night and it was delicious. I've got like 3 different kinds. They are from Japan. So, been snacking on that some. Royal purple. And we did have a hailstorm last night and my crop still looks fine. I've got them planted in milk or water jugs. And so I had not put holes in the bottom, so I had to go out and put holes in the bottom this morning because they were just floating in water. And I was like, oops, not good. So I did go get that done this morning. So, and I multitask a lot. Right now, all the guest room bedding is in the dryer. I threw it in the wash so I could start it as soon as I got back from taking Sarah home. And then after it was all washed, I threw it in the dryer before I came in to make the video. Now this is background. I mean, it's in the very back, so I'm going to go ahead and use this color and just do this whole area in hopes that it will pop these bubbles or whatever they are to the front, the ones that are around them. And you know how sometimes in those deepest, darkest areas we'll get brown or black to make stuff look like it's even further back? We could still do that with this. And there's a bubble hanging out there. Now, I could actually cover over it with this and make it blend in, but I don't want too big of an area there, so I'm coming back to my red violet and I'm just going to do that one solid. I'm going to do this one solid too. Some of these little ones, it'll pop them even closer to the front. See how it looks like another shade or another color? All right, let me see how we're doing time-wise. 22 minutes already. Wow. Okay, it is what it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach over here and I am going to get, do I want black or do I want that, what is that color that's wolf something? I don't see it. I'm going to grab the black. Okay, so I am going to grab black now. Ever so gently. Don't go wild. Okay, don't go too heavy. And in fact, I may have too much color in there already that I can't get any in there. There, I did. I'm going just in the deepest. Do you see a difference though? Okay, look right here and then in these. Right here, I'm going to do it. See how that popped it? Okay, I'm going to do it right here. I'm going to try to keep the pencil. I'll keep my hand out of the way. I don't know about the pencil. I'm going up into the V. Now this is coloring upside down, y'all. And then around it. And then I'm going to come out lightly. But see how it popped these to the front? And it really made that sink back down in there. All right, let's do over here. Like I said, you don't want to trace every little bubble in this black. It would be too harsh. But if you'll just do some areas, do you see how it actually is starting to separate them? So anywhere where you're losing your little circles. That's where you can go in and just tuck some in there. Just do a bit of tuck. Because we don't want to lose the shape, but I don't want to outline everything either. You know what I'm saying? But that area right there is looking good to me. This is looking fairly good. This is blending in a bit much. And I could do some right here. I could just keep going. But anyway, you see what I'm saying? So add black to that list of colors. Okay, so I'm back with the red violet. Doing the outer circles, because we know that's the color that's on top. Lighter as you come in. Now see, if I keep going with this color, it's going to blend into that bubble. So I'm going to go to the next color, which is orchid. And I'm going to put some orchid right up next to that. Okay, then I'm going to, also, I would probably go ahead and do the orchid here. Because if I go the lightest, it's going to blend in with this and this. One thing I see is this is not well blended, and I know I said I'd come back to this later, but I'm going to go ahead and do it now while I see it, because you're going to see how much better that looks, just blending through there. See how much different that looks than what this is? So that's why I'm saying, you know, when you're done, when you're finished with a page, go back and see if any of your elements need to be blended in better, because it sometimes will look a little muddy, but then when you go back in and do your blending, it really pops that color back in. Okay, all right, down here. So the next color was, don't want to get these out of order. What I'm doing is holding them in my hand, and when I pull one out, I put my thumb there. That way I know where it goes back in. Okay, this is royal purple, so this is the deeper color. So I know it's going around that bubble. It's got to be tucked underneath whatever's right there. Now, that was my darkest. So now I can come in with that black again and say, okay, there's a deep V. Here's a deep V. Here's one here. This just kind of blends. So I think what I'm going to do is go back and get that darkest shade, which is the royal purple, and just blend that a little better. Yeah, just keep blending those colors and working with it till you get the look that you're happy with. And see, I'm pretty happy with a lot of that. Oh, there's a lot of it that still needs work. Royal violet. Coming back in and blending. I know I said I was going to blend at the end, but then I want you to be able to see the difference. Because a lot of times I do go back and blend a page off screen later, and then I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. Then am I cheating you by not showing you how my finished page really looked? So this is what I'm talking about when I say go back in and blend. Just go over the whole thing with the lightest shade that I've been using. And see the difference? Now you are going to have to imagine the whole page done, because I'm not going to sit here sprawled across my art table doing these circles. I'll probably sit in front of the TV recliner and do them sometime. I'm really anxious to get into Jane's new book. I feel like the pages will be less intense. We'll get back to some basic coloring skills, and I'm looking forward to that. Okay, time-wise, 31 minutes. Talk to you later. Thumbs up. Bye.